Hey guys, it's Old Man G here. I'm back again. We're doing a pre-match preview to the Manchester Derby. I'm joined by Yannicka from Yan City. Channels in the description. Yannicka, how are you doing on this lovely, quite shiny, sunny actually, Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm well. The last time we had I think a conversation. I think we were in different circumstances. United were where we were. It looked like it was going to be a bit close. You obviously beat us in that Carabao Cup. I think it was a Carabao Cup semi-final. And United fans are positive. And fast forward to now, and City have a 21 game winning streak, and United are now third right now. So how are you feeling about that?
Obviously I'm happy. I did kind of say at the start of the season, like I thought Man City would at the start of the season I thought they'd win the league. Then when we sort of weren't picking up points against sort of United, we got a point and drew West Brom, I thought maybe we won't do it because we just didn't look like we were up for it. And I know what City are like in a title race. They tend to be very they sort of score late goals, to win the game. And we weren't doing that. We were kind of, if it was 1-1 from 50 minutes, that was the end result. And I was surprised by what I was seeing. And it turns out Pep was too. Apparently Pep changed something and then City have gone on since then and just been brilliant. So, I think the run that we're on now is incredible. It hasn't been done before in the Prem. So, it's nice to see. I think it will come to an end. I don't think we're going to continue to win every single game for the rest of the season. I'm hoping it's not today.
I'm hoping it's today, but go on.
I actually thought it would happen against Arsenal. I thought that we'd lose it against Arsenal. Then that didn't happen. I thought maybe Everton, and it didn't happen. So I don't know. City are kind of proving me wrong every week at the moment. So, it's nice to see. But City, I think this derby is not as stressful as previous derbies. I'm still nervous. I always am. I don't like derby at all. But I think this time we've not got as much to lose. I think the points difference means that even if we don't win, it's not going to take too much out of our title race, if you know what I mean. So, I'm quite happy with where we are right now. And hopefully it continues.
Fair enough. And as you've sort of mentioned, obviously as United fans, the optimism that we sort of had. And let's be real, I don't think many United fans were going into the season. I'm sure you didn't see anyone saying we're going to be challenging for the title. We're going to be, I think, to be honest, quite a lot of United fans probably thought that we'd even struggle to get into top four, to be quite honest. So the fact that towards the December period in January that we're actually top of the league for the first time in goodness knows how long was actually a major support. Sorry, 1 second. Raymond, thanks, Chief. Thank you for joining in, man. I appreciate it. And thanks everyone who's listening in the comments as well. Get your questions in. So United fans, understandably, were getting a bit gassed. We're getting very enthusiastic what's going on. But unfortunately, we got a bit too gassed, in part because of our brickish defence. I actually just want to bring up, I think the lineup is out now. So I'm going to quickly just share. I got on BBC Sport, but I don't know whether they're. Come on, where's the? Let's give it up a second. 2 seconds. Yep. Okay. I'll just quickly screen share that. And then just your quick comments on your team, and then we'll probably sigh on the comments on my team. So these are lineups here. So obviously they've got City up because City at home first. So Ederson, Cancelo, Ruben Diaz, Stones, Zinchenko, Gundogan, Rodri, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Gabriel Jesus, and Sterling.
Yep.
Thoughts on that?
I actually predicted that entire lineup. The only thing that I said was it was a toss-up between Fernandinho and Rodri, simply because Fernandinho is so good at stopping counterattacks, and that's how Man United play football. So but Rodri's been really good this season, so I don't mind seeing him in there. I thought he might go with a false nine and play like a Phil Foden up front. I did think he might do that. Clearly he's not. And then I thought maybe Gundogan might go out for Bernardo because they've both been really good. But yeah, I'm not mad at that team. I think it's a strong side, and yeah, I can't really argue with it.
I have a feeling I know what the United team's going to be like. I'm probably, in fact, I think I can already guess what it's going to be like. So, yes. Oh, wait. Okay, Martial. Okay, so Henderson.
Yeah, Cavani's injured, they said.
Yes, but I thought Martial was injured as well. That's what surprised me.
Okay.
So we're obviously playing 4-2-3-1. Henderson is in goal for De Gea because of De Gea's, I think his wife's pregnant, so he's gone to Spain. So Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, of course, it's going to be Magaluf, unfortunately. Is Baye on the bench? Of course, he's on the bench, for goodness sake. Anyway, Shaw, McTominay, Fred. So the back six makes sense. Daniel James, Bruno, Rashford. Now, I don't really rate Daniel James, but the thing with Daniel James is just the pace that he has, really. That's just a big thing. I remember, I think the last time we played at the Etihad in the league, I think Daniel James did play and we won that game. And I remember he did cause problems down that side just because he was quick. And he still is a quick player, The
way City play, you want someone like that, because even if he doesn't score, them runs that he's making, you can always pass it into Martial or Rashford. So yeah, it makes sense, I think.
Bruno number 10, Rashford, and then Martial. I'm surprised that Martial was fit to start. Cavani obviously is injured. The big issue for me with this United team, in my opinion, is just the creativity. It's basically it's the standard Ollie sort of set up to counter attack and move, and I'm not sure that's going to work against a City team that looks like they've actually set up to defend. They've got a solid defense now, and even to be honest, if I look at the City team going back, you could look at someone like Rodri and Gundogan, who can maybe play slightly more deep, although Gundogan has obviously been going forward more. Yeah. The only question I'd ask is there are you surprised that maybe Fernandinho wasn't playing?
Yeah, like I said before, like I would have liked to have seen Fernandinho today, just because I know how good he is at stopping counters. But to be fair, Rodri has been really, really good this season, going forward and defensively, actually. So yeah, I think Pep's probably quite confident in our defence of sort of Edison at the moment, who he didn't play too well against Wolves, but before that he wasn't really putting a foot wrong. Diaz and Stones, they seem very solid. We do concede the odd goal, but in general they do seem quite solid. Zinchenko, you definitely want someone that's going to get down. He could have maybe played like a Laporte out of position, but Zinchenko has been quite solid for us in sort of both directions. But and then Cancelo he's not really a right back, is he? He's going to be all over the place.
Yes.
But yeah, he's decent when he needs to be in the right back position. So yeah,
I mean, as a lot of obviously Cancelo and Diaz have really sort of come into this Manchester United team and City team, and have really done the business. Would you say that those have been the difference regarding City's season?
Yeah, I think Cancelo, you could kind of see last season bits of what he could do, but it wasn't really working out for him. So it's just, I knew, because I was bigging him up last season. Every time I did it, he had a disaster class straight after, and I'd be like, oh no. But you could see what he was going to do, and he's just come out. I think Gundogan has had a lot more space with De Bruyne being out. Now De Bruyne is back, I think he'll go more into his sort of defensive kind of role, making tackles in important areas and stuff like that, than going forward and trying to score. Especially with the players that are on the pitch, he won't need to. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how we play. We've played with this sort of lineup quite a few times recently. So they all know each other. They know what they're doing and stuff like that. So yeah, it'd be nice to see. I hope Gabby gets a goal, because United fans have been slandering him for so long. I need it.
I just remember the time. I just remember that. I mean, it might not have been the best memory for you. I mean, you won the league that season, but if you'd beaten United at the Etihad, you would have won it, beating United there, and you wanted it so much. But unfortunately, a certain player that's not playing today, Paul Pogba, kind of ruined those dreams. I just remember Gabriel just trying to start fights, and it just didn't really work, really. So that's all I remember him by in Derby. He's just trying to. I think was it Pogba? Or was it Lukaku or someone? I was like, what's this guy doing? It's just.
He's important to our team. But it sounds really daft when I say it, because if you don't watch City, you won't get it. And I'm like, it's not. For him, it's not all about scoring goals. It's about what he does for the team. I just think in terms of goals, I don't know. Gabby is like, he's not the most clinical. Do you know what I mean? But he still ends up getting goals because of how many chances we create.
Okay.
Sterling haven't been great historically in derbies. So I'm hoping to see more from him.
Usually he gets pocketed by Luke Shaw, so he plays on that side.
It's him against Liverpool as well. He was the same, but he scored this year. So I'm hoping that he can score in the Manchester derby when there's no fans. He's not under all that pressure that he's normally under, getting booed and everything else. And then hopefully he can go on and do something in the derby that pushes him on. But yeah, I think Mahrez has been very good recently. I think he's won us 15 points this season, something like that. He's done quite well this season. But yeah, I think Bernardo Silva, I remember scoring in recent derbies, I think, and De Bruyne. But De Bruyne's not been that clinical this season. So I don't know who the goals are going to come from. I'm sure we will score. Yeah. But I don't know. I really don't know. It might even be a defender, like John Stones has scored quite a few derbies. So I don't know. I can't. I wouldn't want to predict the goal scorer in that game because I don't really know who it'll be. I'm just hoping that we do put our chances away. So yeah.
Adam says, why do we start McFred? That's the reason Bruno doesn't perform. Is it because right now we don't actually have any other fit midfielders? That's part of a problem. Raymond says Manchester have always been the best out of United. So that is true. For some reason, Scott McTominay always seems to and he's playing today. He decides to kind of step up a bit and broad his shoulders. So it's possible that he could do something today if he's allowed to go forward. And Abdullah Alamay says, today is United's funeral. Well, thank you as a City fan coming in and tuning in. I appreciate it. So all I would say is that certain teams have certain European Cups and certain teams do not. That's what I'll say, really. It's just you're discussing facts, you know what I mean, Yannick? We're just conversing facts. Some facts happen, some facts don't happen, so it is. So let's just quickly move on to the score. How do you see this ending before we go to combined 11? I'm assuming you're going to win.
Do you know what? I think City should be winning. Not necessarily saying that's going to happen. I know what Manchester derbies are like. I think I said the same thing before the game that you were talking about, where we were 2-0 up at half time. I would have put my house on it that we were going to win, and we didn't. So, I think derbies are always an interesting game. I think form goes out the window a little bit. And, we, like when I was growing up, like I remember we were nowhere near Man United in terms of talent. And we would go and beat Man United, usually at Main Road. We didn't really win at Old Trafford for years, but we beat Man United. So it's one of them things. It doesn't matter how good City are or how bad United are. It's a derby. So you could end up winning. I hope not, because I'm sure you will put everything on the line to take away our record. I think you will do that. So, yeah, but I think it'll be a tight game. I do think City should be winning. So on that basis, I would say a 2-1 City. I don't think we're going to batter you. I'd love it to happen, but I just don't think it will happen. And I don't think you'll batter us if you win. I don't think it'll be like a big win. I think it'll be 2-1 either way, but yeah, City should be winning it.
Don Wagner, long time no see. Don is one of my oldest members of subscribers to the channel. Always has something fun to say, and I respect him for it. Ollie is loaded up. Buy one get one free. Buy two get one free. Actually, Vaseline for the pummeling he's going to get from Manchester City. When Ollie talks about fine margins, ask him if Man United being 2 a few weeks ago to suddenly being a huge point gap for Man City is fine margins. I agree. I absolutely saw it being top a few weeks ago to suddenly being a huge gap is fine margin. I agree. And Abdullah says, United one-man team right with Bruno. I mean, I don't really have any hope really going into this game regarding a win, even a point. And really the only thing that you can say that might mean that United might get a draw is just United's away form this season. I'm not saying we played well, but we haven't lost an away game in the league since 2020.
Yeah.
That can change. Obviously, something is going to give, but
well, your record might remain, but ours might get a draw. If it's a draw, our record goes, but yours remains. If it's a win for United, obviously, ours goes. But
so that's the only thing where I think, okay, if we're going to get something in the game, it's going to be a draw. We're going to get something. It might be because of that, because our way from has just been. It's been good in the sense of that we've not lost, but we still should be like winning games against Palace away, for example. But it just means that it seems that United appear to be difficult to beat away from home. So, so as you said, it might not necessarily be just an easy game. If that makes any sense.
I think what it is with Man United as well is like last time we kind of cancelled each other out because we set up to stop you counter attacking us, and you set up to counter attack us, and it kind of cancelled each other out. City weren't clinical at one end. Man United weren't trying to score really in that game, and it came out 0-0. So I don't know, but Pogba does help you in derbies. He's normally the main danger man in a derby. Rashford's decent too, to be honest, and I think Martial's got a few goals as well. So we'll see. But yeah, go on.
Adam Talk says, let's be real, it's probably going to be 0-0. I mean, to be honest, it's the same. How many games this season have been hyped and it's going to be this, it's going to be that, it's going to be that. And then when you see the game, what the managers do, because I know Pep, this isn't even like the last time when like it was like, oh, United are going to be, the Champions League is coming, I think, is it next week? Is City playing next week?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying this is how Pep is going to play, but I would understand after 60-something minutes and it's still 0-0 that both teams decide this isn't a must-win game really for any. That's what's so weird about this. City will still be top regardless, and United are still going to be in their position or relatively comfortable in fourth regardless. So I can see why after probably 65 minutes, you could probably see both managers going and just settling for the 0-0. Are you worried? Would you be worried about that, or you can see how the game would go that way?
Yeah, I think Pep's always said he'd never set up for a 0-0.
True.
And I don't think he would. Obviously, they'll go for the win. I think last time we weren't really clinical enough going forward at that point in the season. So I feel like because we weren't clinical, we couldn't get a win, even if we'd wanted to. Whereas now, I don't think that's the case. So it will depend how the game goes. Obviously, if we go 2-0 down or something daft like that, getting a draw would be a decent result because you don't want to lose. But yeah, I think I'd be a little bit unimpressed with City if they don't really try and win.
Sorry to interrupt you.
I know
Liverpool lose a 6. I mean, before we go into the kind of combined 11, just as a side, because obviously we're Manchester sides. I whatever we say, I despise Liverpool more than I do Manchester City anyway. It's a rivalry, but like they've got. Do you think that this is worrying? I know Klopp obviously has done so much, but do you think that this is worrying for Liverpool right now in terms of him, in terms of what? Or is it just a season's finished over, they'll just rebuild next season, they'll be fine?
I think it's interesting because I would expect Klopp, being the manager that he is, to come back next season fighting. The problem that Liverpool have is, one, a lot of their players are in their late 20s. So they're going to have to start rebuilding regardless. Secondly, they have a thing about spending money, and they don't like to be known as a team that spend a lot of money, even though they do spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
They don't spend as much as everyone else, and they like to be known as that team. But I think in order to rebuild, they're going to have to spend quite a lot of money because players now, decent players, are expensive. So they're going to have to spend to probably compete. I would like to see that when they're, well, I wouldn't like to see it, but I would expect that when their players start coming back, they return to the old Liverpool and do what they were doing last season. If they don't do that, I think questions need to be asked, because they've said all season it's because we've got injuries, it's because of the injuries. So if the players come back and they don't improve, then questions need to be asked about how good they really were. That's all I would say. But yeah, I think they will be back. I can't see this lasting forever. Yeah, I can't see it.
Because it's difficult, because, you know, they lost 7-2 to obviously Villa, and at the time people were like, oh, you know, it's a blip, just sort of free kicks and that happens. And I know, but you know, a lot of their starting 11 were there. You know. Oh man, this
it's funny though, because last season when City were underperforming a bit, everyone was calling Pep a fraud and saying City aren't that great. Liverpool the best team in the league, but this season it's like, oh, they got injuries. So it's like, yes, they've got injuries, but like you say, they lost 7-2 before the injuries started kicking in. They're not. The thing is, I can understand the argument against City. City are better because they've spent this much money. That's fine, but they're losing to teams that are cheaper than them, like in terms of squad. And they're below teams that have spent less. So it can't be about the money at this point. It can't be. You can blame the injuries because that's understandable, but even still, why are they not scoring? Because they're not conceding 5 a game. So it's not they're conceding 1. They're not scoring at the other end. So Salah, Jota's now back. You know, Mane,
Firmino.
I was told were the best front three in the world. Like I was told Liverpool's attack were better than Man City. So why are they not scoring? Because even when City didn't play well last season, we were still scoring loads of goals. We were just conceding goals at the back. So I don't know.
No, exactly. I completely agree. And I'm going to be bantering some Liverpool fans. Well, I want to see how this game goes first before I banter Liverpool fans. Even if we lose, it's fine, as long as it's not like a problem, you know. So just the last segment on a sort of combined 11. So I know we did this beforehand, and obviously things might have changed. We agreed before we went live that we were going to do a diamond, a 4-4-2 diamond. So let's, and obviously the rules are the same in that, like, it's players that are available for this game based on you know, current form or whatever. But yeah, just as long as they're available for this game, that's I'll go for it. So in goal,
it has to be Edison this season, definitely.
Well, I can't pick De Gea anyway because he's not available. Henderson hasn't really played that much, so yeah, I would. There's not even sorry, Shane 10 saying. So I'm surprised Walker isn't playing, considering how fast he went on the break. I thought Pep would want someone with defensive solidity, someone who can match our pace on a counter attack. Are you surprised by that?
No, I think as much as he has pace, I think Walker's always got a bit of a mistake in him, more so than Cancelo. And Cancelo has just been one of our best players this season. He can't not play Cancelo. The only way he would have Walker in the squad is if he plays Cancelo out of position at left back. And I just think we can't really have someone playing out of position in a game like this. I know Zinchenko is technically, but he's used to playing left back. So yeah, I'm not bothered about that. I think he'll bring him on if we are struggling, and probably move Cancelo over to the other side if he has to. But yeah, I don't think.
Let's quickly go for the centre back pairings.
Gotta be Diaz and Stones.
It has to be, doesn't it? So I mean, if I would make a case for Bay, you know. So and I do think that Bay is like, I always say, if Eric Bay was fit all season, I think he would be the best defender in the league. That's just what I think in terms of his tackling ability, his ability in the air, his awareness, and so on. The unfortunate problem is his injury record. I think that probably plays into the form. So we're gonna have to. I'm gonna begrudgingly put John Stones and Diaz in this. In fact, the way it's looking, I don't know which. Am I right back? Right back
has to be Cancelo.
Cancelo.
Yeah.
Because can I make a case for Luke Shaw at left back?
Yeah, I was gonna say Luke Shaw.
Yeah. Okay, I can make because Aaron Wan-Bissaka,
We
unfortunately,
don't have left backs. So whoever I do a combined 11 with, is always their left back. Like very rarely Zinchenko. And I'm not saying Zinchenko is not a good player.
no, he's good. He's good.
He's just not a natural. He's not a left back. So I wouldn't ever put him in there unless their left back is terrible. I wouldn't put him in ahead of their players, even though, I think he's got the best win rate in all City players, in terms of games played and how many wins he's got. He's got like something like a 79% win rate or something down.
Yeah. He's not a bad player, so it's just you're right. He's not a natural. And in defense to Shaw, I think the Shaw is I think that
your best player or one of them.
Comments here. Andam Talk says Wan-Bissaka gets disrespected. It's not really disrespect, but he hasn't really, in my opinion, improved a lot since last season. If anything, has regressed slightly. His positional sense is a bit out of whack as well. But we'll see in this game.
He'll probably play well today, to be honest, because he's all right defensively. He's just going forward. It's creating stuff. That's what United have been struggling with. So that's why Cancelo is practically a midfielder right now. To be fair, but
so who plays in our defensive holding position?
You know what? Like, if Pogba was fit, I would give Pogba a case. But I think this season, Rodri has been on fire.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think it has to be Rodri, really.
Okay. You wouldn't put Fernandinho there?
I would love to put Fernandinho there because he's my favourite player. But he hasn't played as much as Rodri. And Rodri's been really good. I think last season, it would have been Fernandinho all day. But yeah, this season, Rodri's played a lot more. And he's been very good, to be honest.
Left and right mid. I mean,
yeah, this is where the formation's a bit like.
Yeah, it's a bit. But to be honest, I can't think of many. The only midfielder that I can think that in general that gets into this team potentially is Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
Just based on his, and I'll make a case for him. Just people say against the top six, but fundamentally.
I put him in the 9. Put him in the 9 position, and then maybe put. I'm just trying to think. Maybe put De Bruyne in number 7 because he plays anywhere.
Yeah. What about Gundogan the other side?
I'd put Gundogan as an 8 because Gundogan's actually a number 8. He's number 8. So put Gundogan number 8 and then up front.
We're spelling these wrong. Sorry.
I'd put Sterling in there.
Really? Really? Oh, you think Sterling has had a better season than Marcus Rashford?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You
know who also been good? Mahrez has been good, but I'm not going to put Mahrez in. I don't know. I would put, because I'd definitely put Foden in, but Foden's not played as many games, but still, Foden's been really, really good. I don't know. This is a hard one because Bernardo Silva's been good. Like, I don't know.
See, if Cavani was fit, I'd put, but he's obviously not.
Yeah.
I can't put
Rashford in.
I can't put any of Man United's forwards aside from Marcus Rashford, really.
Yeah. Put Rashford in as the number 10 then.
Okay.
And then put number 11. See, I wouldn't put obviously we can't put Aguero in because he's hardly played, so it can't be Aguero.
Yeah.
Gabby's been all right for us, but he hasn't been. I feel like I'd rather Foden went in than Gabby.
I mean,
maybe put Foden because Foden has played a false 9 a few times this season. So maybe put just because Foden has turned up in all the big games.
He has.
So I think in a derby lineup as well, I'd definitely put him in. So
So
yeah,
do you
Rashford and Foden up top.
Rashford and Foden? Yeah, I mean he has played up there, so okay, so I can do that. So
Yeah.
and Foden. Yeah, okay. Yep. I agree with that. So you have Edison, Shaw, Stone, Diaz, Cancelo, Rodri, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Fernandes, Rashford, Foden. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 City players. And I can't disagree here. So we've only got 3. So the only players that come into this are Shaw, Fernandes, and Rashford, which, to be honest, probably makes sense. I think that probably makes sense so far. I think if Pogba was fit,
in another season, you'd have Aguero in there.
Yeah.
And you'd have Pogba in there.
Yeah.
And Pogba has been good this season, but Rodri has been good all season and he's played all season. So it has to be this time. It would have to be Rodri.
Fair. Right. Okay. Well, match has been start. I know you suggested of a 4. Thank you so much, Jan, for coming on the channel. May the best team win. I will be trolling you if we do somehow win with that brick team, though. So just keep an eye on your DMs if that's the case. If you cancel us,
you know what? Every time Man United beat us in the derby, I got all these people texting me like, "Hi," it's like, "Go away. Where are you in the league?" So yeah, I'm not this time. It would be worse if Man United were 3 points behind us or closer, because I think it's like shit. But I think City should be all right regardless. So let's hope we win anyway.
Right. Thanks to everyone who's watching. Remember to leave a like on the video. Remember to check out Jan's channel, Yan City. The links are in the description. Follow her on Twitter as well. Twitter handles there as well. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers.